We are back for another round of the Autobrite Direct Touring Car Legends series. It's round number 4, it's the AM category, and we're back at the Nürburgring. This 3.2 mile circuit will once again play host to two awesome packed races over the course of the night. Average speeds around about the 88 miles an hour mark, so enough to get a DeLorean off the road, but thankfully we've got none of those in the field. Take a look at the two championships that we've got up tonight. Kenty leads the Pro-Am Championship with quite a healthy lead over UK OG Crony in second, who in turn has a decent lead over Retro Rixie in third. Then there's just a point back to Robster in the Alfa Romeo in fourth, with Ninja Goat and the Volvo rounding out the top 5. In the Pro-Ams, KB Racing has a dominant lead over Maddie's Dog Pete with Sir Nuts and Devil's Boogeyman in a definite battle for number 3. It's Noodles rounds out the top 5 in the AM category. Before we go racing, we need to take a look at where everyone's going to be starting for race number 1, so let's head down to the grid and see how they're going to line up. So after the 20-minute session, it was Robster who came out on top, with Kenty snagging the second front row position. Row 2 is Cubs and Retro Rixing the BMW, with row 3 featuring Rob Racer and Ninja Goat. Row 4 is UK OG Crony and DI Boar. Row 5 is Penfold and R Greenwood. Row 6 is Stumpy Steen with a decent start in 11th, with Captain Sora 12th. 13th is Ghosty Nightwolf with Angry Unicorn 14th. First of the AM drivers, KB Racing's in 15th with Nuts alongside him. Maddie's Dog Pete and It's Noodles fill out row 9, and round out the grid is Millsy White and JGK Manine. So for the first time tonight, the AM drivers are off and running. It's a good start for the Alfa Romeos. Robster gets a good start to take the lead. All three of the Alphas seem to be getting away at the front, but it's Robster who sweeps across the front to take the lead in towards turn 1. Kenty slots into second. They both run a little bit wide there. That's not going to help the cause. Rixie's going to get into there as well. So Cubs, having had a good start to get into third, has just lost out to the BMW. Maybe the BM's going to be the first car to take it to the Alfa Romeos, but it's Kenty taking it towards Robster in the opening stages here. Tries to go around the outside of that bottom corner. Doesn't quite get the move done. That gives him the inside for the next run, but Robster's got him covered, and the 88 car leads a little bit further behind. Ninja Goat's now coming under threat from Crony with a big dive. So the Volvo under threat straight away from the Nissan Skyline. The Skylines have gone pretty well so far in the hands of Crony, but the Volvo's getting that a little bit quicker as the season goes on. Expect to see the 91 car challenging a little bit further up the field, but he's got Crony. He's not afraid of a full send right up behind him now. So heading towards the bottom end of the circuit for the first time in towards the banked hairpin, and that Nissan is all over the rear deck of that Volvo. A little bit further behind, you got a few cars getting caught up. Looks like Rob Racer and DI Ball got caught up with Penfold there as well. Looks like you've got Unicorn in there as well. He's just overtook 3 cars. That was on the grass. The Stewart Down can like the look of that one. A little bit of contact in the background. Millsy's trying to get into this one as well. Heading through the bottom hairpin now. Ball tries to get the power down, lights up the front wheels as the car's off in the background. Not sure what happened there, but cars off in the background there as well. Back at the front though, Kenty trying to stay on terms with Robster at the front. Both of these guys have won races in this championship so far, but it's Kenty who holds the lead. He's using all the road and a little bit more to try and keep up, but it's too much. Rixie's got past, so Rixie's got himself through into second place. The BM deposes the Alfa Romeo. Will this be the first time in the AM lobby that we don't see a bit of Alfa Romeo victory? Cubs isn't going to be able to do it. He's run himself straight off the road there behind them, and Kenty's trying now to retake that position from Rixie in the BMW. Cubs really under pressure now after that little mistake. Ninja Goat and the Volvo. These Volvos are pretty quick in a straight line, so expect him to be right over the rear wing of that Alfa Romeo heading in towards the chicane. Will he fancy dive? Yes, he does. He's gone for it. Crony's going to think about it as well. Crony shows the nose, but thinks a little bit better of it. Cubs goes over the curb to try and defend it, but Goat's around the outside in the Volvo. Will he be able to take the position in towards the final corner? Cubs is going to try and push him as wide as he can, while also leaving him racing room. The Alfa gets the power down. That's the 4-wheel drive for the Alfa Romeo, getting it off the corner compared to the front-wheel drive of the Volvo and the rear-wheel drive of the Skyline. The Skyline now right under that rear wing, well, a little rear decklet of that Volvo. The Volvo cutting a massive gap in the air. The Nissan sends it down the inside. I told you Crony's not afraid of a send, and he sent it down there and got the position, but the Volvo's going to come back at him. He didn't quite get it stopped in time, but Crony's got the inside here, and he's got the position done. But the Volvo's still there down the inside. The 91 car of Ninja not letting him go, so he's going to fight over this position. He's going to try everything he can to keep that position, but he's not got it back from the 11 car. So now Crony has a shot at Cubs. We used to see Cubs fight with Storer. Storer's a little bit down the field, so it's going to be Cubs and Crony we're going to see going at it throughout this race, as it seems, towards the bottom end of the circuit. The Skyline's caught right up onto the back of the Alfa Romeo. That Alfa must have an issue, because it's super slow compared to the rest of the cars around it. He's going to be really under threat from that Skyline in the next lap or so, heading in towards the bottom end of the circuit. A little bit further behind, looks like you've got to go see Nightwolf and Millsy going at it here. The 23 car trying to hang on against that brightly coloured Alfa Romeo. You're definitely not going to miss that Alfa in your rear view mirrors. But Millsy's not going to see it in his rear view mirrors. He's going to see it in his wing mirrors. Now it's in front of him. So Millsy down one position. Looked like there was a little bit of a tank there from the Bastos Sierra that I believe is nuts a little bit further behind. You've got Penfold in there as well. So you've got an AM driver mixed in with the Pro-Ams heading in towards the bottom end of the circuit. You've got a massive lock-up in front. You've got a big lock-up from Millsy. Doesn't quite able to get the power down compared to the Alfa, and the Sierra's got in front of him. So instead of trying to go for a position, he's actually lost one side by side through the Schumacher S's. This isn't going to work. That's going to come down to last of the late breakers. Think a little bit better of it. Millsy comes back. He gets the position, but the Sierra's all sorts of sideways. Penfold's fallen down the order now. He's just lost the position to Greenwood there as the pair of them got together. Now Greenwood trying to get the position on nuts in front of him. That Bastos Sierra doesn't look too happy with the rear end. He's not quite got the setup correct on that car. Greenwood, though, climbing all over the rear wing of that Sierra's. Millsy's off in front. The BMW's gone wide as one BMW loses a position, potentially isn't one about to gain a position. But the Bastos Sierra gets the power down. He's got it. He's got the drive off there. Looks like he's got Ghosty Nightwolf in front. Just pulling a little bit of a gap. Sierra closes up under braking. That's a really late lunge. It looked like he was trying to go for a move there. That was a little bit far back, mate. Steady on. It's not sim racing, mate. You want to try and make sure that you've at least got space to make the move. But now he's trying to fend from Millsy, trying to stop that BMW from getting through. It looks like he's just about got the BM covered. Cubs still soaking up the pressure from Crony behind, heading towards the final sector of the lap. This is where the Alfa Romeo is a little bit weaker compared to the Skyline. Skyline does have a decent amount of power. You can see he's closed up pretty quickly. A little mistake from Cubs on the exit. That hasn't helped it. Crony's trying to go down the inside. Cubs had him covered. It's going to be last of the late breakers. Crony's going to send it down the inside. The nose of the Skyline's there. The Alfa has to back out of it. He had no choice there. He had to let him go. Heading in towards that final corner. That's Cubs down a position. Crony up a position. So that Skyline's going pretty well in the opening stages of this race. And Cubs in the 13 car could definitely do with finding a bit of pace. So battle of Volvos now. AM driver versus Pro-Am. You've got KB who's currently leading the AM class against D.I. Bohr, who is Pro-Am. Behind there, you've got the matte black Alfa Romeo, who's also an AM driver. So KB's going to want to try and keep that behind. That's Manistod Pete closing in here. So if he can get a car between him and Pete, then that'll be absolutely perfect for him to try and extend that championship lead. The 110 car is actually coming under pressure from the black Alfa Romeo. Pete's had a decent run the last couple of races. He's been improving a little bit, and this is definitely showing the pace. He potentially could take the fight to KB in the AM championship here, but he needs to start getting some points back on that Volvo driver. Back up towards the front, you've got Rob Racer going head to head against another Sierra driver. That's Unicorn. He's going up against the Bastos car. Sierra versus Sierra. Rob's pushing him as much as he can. Remember, Unicorn called a couple of positions over the grass, so the stewards might want to take a look at that one later on, but Rob's not going to worry about that. He's going to try and get the position done as quickly as possible through the bottom hairpin. He's closed right up onto the back of the Sierra. The Sierra runs a little bit wide. They're going to go side by side through the Schumacher S's. Not really where you want to be going side by side. Unicorn thinks better of it, lives to fight another day, but what that has done is put him under pressure from Ninja behind in a Volvo. There's 3 Volvos about to queue up behind that Sierra if he's not careful. So Unicorn needs to start trying to get the power down, trying to get away from those Volvos in front. Definitely not doing that, definitely not running wide. That's going to allow Ninja to have a proper run at him, and if these guys keep fighting, it's going to allow the other 2 Volvos to come in. He's going to have an armada of Volvos up behind him. The Volvo's really strong in a straight line, and Ninja's putting all that power into Kujis. He's dragged straight past the Sierra. Decent move there, so will Unicorn be able to come back at him into the chicane? He thinks about it, he goes to the dive. Little bit of a nudge there on the back of the Volvo, backs out of it, Bohr sends it. I don't know if he meant to do that, or if that was a pure accident, but that was a hell of a send there from Bohr in the Team Hard car. That really looked like a bit of an outbraking mistake, but it would have been a fantastic move had he made it work. But what it has done is put him in the clutches of KB Racing in that Chrome car. So after that massive send, Bohr now under pressure from potentially another massive send from behind. He's been trying to fend off this fellow Volvo driver for the last lap or two. He's not managed it so far. KB Racing, though, thinks about the dive. Ball goes really far wide. Doesn't get the power down quite enough. That's going to allow the Chrome Volvo to come around the outside potentially. These Volvos really don't like power and turn at the same time. Downside front wheel drive. You just get massive amounts of understeer, massive amounts of torque steering these things. So to get a decent time out of them is quite a challenge. Cubs now under pressure from Rob Racer. He's falling down the order. Can he try and stem that fall now? He's got the Sierra right up behind him. You can see the mine sponsorship that he's got going on there, raising awareness for the mine charity. But Cubs goes straight wide. He goes straight on there, and he's lost the position to Rob Racer from the Duckham's car. So that's not what Cubs will want to have been doing. He'll need to be checking his mind if he actually wants to stay in this race. Now he's under pressure from the Volvo behind him, Ninja. Will he be about to lose another place, or will he be able to get the place back to Rob Racer? He's closed right up under the rear wing of that Sierra, heading down towards turn number 1. He moves over to the right hand side. He looks to take the inside line. Looks like he's managed to drag the Sierra down towards turn number 1. It's going to be a case of last of the late breakers. Will he be able to get the car stopped? No, he's not. He's gone straight on. He's gone straight on, straight off in the gravel. And now Ninja is right on the back of Robin and Sierra. So will this be a move between the 44 car and the 91 Volvo? That Volvo's really well set up at the moment. Now Cubs about to lose another place to Unicorn. Unicorn clambering all over the curbs as he tries to get back on terms with the guys in front after that outbraking manoeuvre at the first corner. Unicorn though and Sierra is pushing and pushing and pushing. These guys are rubbing. Remember, rubbing is racing in touring cars, and these guys are taking that literally. But Unicorn gets down the inside, gets the position on Cubs. Will Cubs be able to come back at him? Will he fancy a massive lunge? Decides a little bit better of it. Decides he's going to try and take the point. Going to try and claw his way back up the Pro-Am Championship. But if he can get the position back, he's definitely going to go for it. In towards the bottom hairpin. Will he fancy a dive? Not quite close enough to go for it. The 89 car holds on. So Ninja now trying to make some progress. He's coming under pressure from that Sierra behind. Unicorn and the Sierra has been catching the last lap or so. And it looks like he's got that slightly better line through that hairpin as Rob Racer runs a little bit wide. Will this be the chance that Ninja wants? He tried it around the outside on the last one, couldn't get the power down. Now he's got the cut back to the inside. This could be what he needs to get that position done, but he needs to be careful about Unicorn in the Sierra behind. Unicorn's not afraid of using the curb. He's not afraid of using all of the track to try and make a position up. Heading through the bottom end of the circuit now, not able to get the move done. He fends off that Sierra behind, but he has lost ground to the Sierra in front of him in a Sierra sandwich, and he's nowhere near either of them, which from behind's a good thing. In front of you, really want to be as close as possible. Heading towards that off-cambered section now. Will he fancy a dive? Unicorn, he's gone for it. The Volvo went wide. He's just close enough to go for the move. Will he be able to out-drag him down the straight? Not quite. The Volvo puts the power to good use and keeps the position. Rixie now under pressure from Crony. This is the battle for the final podium paying position. You can see Kenty in front, cleared off at the front there. And you've got Robster just in front as well. The two Alfa Romeos, 1 and 2. And this is the fight over third position. The top rear-wheel drive car as Kenty locks up massively. Leaves himself under pressure from a dive there. Crony thinks a little bit better of it. He's not able to jink out and get the position done. Through the Schumacher S's, he'll want to get as close as he can through this section and line him up for a move. Maybe into the left-hander at the end of this sector. He's getting right under the rear wing of that BMW. He's right on the rear bumper. Will he fancy a dive? He might not be close enough at the moment, but that's never stopped Crony before. He'll go for a dive if there's half a gap, and it looks like a little bit of a touch there. Crony just backs out of it a little bit, lets Rixie keep the position. He waits a corner, and he's going to go for it again around the outside. This is where the power of the Skyline is going to come a little bit into play, and he gets the position. He's out-dragged him before the flat-out right-hander, but will Rixie be able to come back at him into the chicane? Crony moves over to take the racing line. Rixie's still looking down the inside. He sticks the nose of the BMW in there and gets the move back. He gets back down the inside, but Crony's still there. Lights the rear tyres up and loses the position again. So Rixie gets himself back into contention for a podium-paying position. He needs to try and hang on here, but he runs a little bit wide. That's going to give Crony the chance he he needs. Drag race down the main straight towards the start finish line to put another lap in the book as the fight for the final podium paying position is going to go down to the wire here at the Nürburgring. Down in towards turn number 1, Crony looks towards the inside. Will he fancy a dive? He goes for it. Massive lockup from the pair of them. Crony just gets the car stopped a little bit better than Rixie and gets the position back. So that's Crony up to 3rd place there. Rixie down to 4th. Will he be able to hang on, or will he come under pressure from the cars that are chasing behind him? We don't know. We're not quite sure. But he's just about hanging on to the back of that Skyline, but the Skyline is just starting to pull a little bit of a gap in front of him. This is the man, though. He's going to come across the line to take victory here at the Nürburgring. We're in race number 1 from pole position. It's Robster in the Alfa Romeo. The Pro-Am driver comes across the line to win round number 7 of the championship. Kenty comes home 2nd with Crony completing the podium in 3rd. Retro Rixie comes home 4th with Ninja Goat, an impressive 5th in the Volvo. Rob races 6th, Unicorn 7th, Cub ends up down in 8th. Top Pro-Am driver KB Racing finishes 9th. DI Bohr in 10th, Millsy White 11th, and Sir Nuts round out the top 12. Well, as is customary at this point, next race is a full reverse grid, and to make it a little bit more challenging, it's going to be under lights. So off we go, under lights. Alphas again get a good start. Goes to Ninth Wolf versus JG Cayman 9. Sierra actually gets a really good start. Penfold and Pete are getting up there as well. The AM driver is definitely on a charge here as Penfold gets turned around slightly. Does he get the car collected up just about as Mad Dog Pete goes off into the lead. The AM driver lead to the Nürburgring. That's Stumpy Steam versus Millsy White. BMW versus BMW. This is the great thing about the reverse grid. It gives some guys the chance to run towards the front of the field that might not normally get that opportunity. But Penfold now trying to get the position back on Pete. Little bit of a tag there as Penfold goes through to the lead as Pete goes off sideways. Just about gets back on track, but it's Pete that leads. Penfold concedes the position, and it's now still an Alpha 1-2, but it's 2 Alphas that we haven't seen at the front of the field. Whereas it looks like you've got Ghosty Nightwolf going off wide as he's let the 2 BMWs of Stumpy Steam through, and it looks like he's just got the position back on Millsy in front behind him. Is that KB Racing's got himself up there as well as JG Cayman 9 starts falling down the order. DI Bohr's in there as well, heading in towards the bottom hairpin. There's a little bit of bumping, a little bit of banging. They go way too deep into that corner. There's cars off everywhere. You've got the Volvo off, you've got the Sierra off by the look of it, and you've got another Sierra getting spat out. That's M9 going off towards the barriers quite quickly as you've got Ghosty Nightwolves come through in the melee of all that. Meanwhile, you've got Penfold and Pete have solid off at the front. It's an Alpha 1-2-3 as the rest of the field decided just wants to take each other out at the bottom hairpin. We'll have to take a look and see what happens here, but he's about to lose the position now to Bohr. Bohr sends it down the inside and he goes off in as well. This seems to be the final podium position that nobody wants, as that looks like it's Nuts going around the outside of Bohr to try and take 4th place off in there. A little bit of a bump and bang as they head down the back straight. Bohr side by side with the Sierra and just gets his nose back in front. Okay, let's see what happens here. This is on board with M9 and the Sierra, heading down towards the bottom corner. A little bit bumping and banging with KB Racing the Volvo, and the pair of them just went way too hot into that corner. It just looked like both of them outbraked each other, and then the Sierra itself gets spat off on towards the curbing. This is on board with Millsy. He's going to get absolutely smashed. Oh, no, that's not a nice sight you want to see in your rear view mirror. That's definitely not what you want to see. So we've got 3 brands going at it here. You've got Volvo, Bohr, you've got Nuts in the Sierra, and Ghosty Nightwolf in the Alfa Romeo as they head down the back straight to get ready to put another lap in the butt. The Volvo side by side with Sierra. A little bit of a bump and bang, and you can see the sparks at night. That's one of the great things. You can see the cars on the lights. You can see the sparks. If there is that little bit of contact, his Nuts thinks about a little bit of a send there, makes a little bit of a bump on the back of Bohr and the Volvo, but Bohr gets the power down. And is he going to try and go around the outside of Ghosty Nightwolf in that Alpha? Yes, he goes for it, but he's going to go wide. Oh, he's off and in the gravel. Bohr's been spending a lot more time in the gravel than he has been on the track. Maybe someone should get him a map for the next time we go racing at Long Beach. Just say, yeah, Dave, black stuff, good, green, silver, bad, don't go there. But he's about to lose a position by the looks of it to Ninja in the other Volvo, as he's already got Nuts in front of him, and hard on the brake in the Volvo's out the curb. He's exited stage left there, so that's Bohr out of this one, as there's contact in front. Millsy gets spat out around. Is that Kenty in that as well? Rixie's got through. So the guys who finished at the top of the first race are starting to fight their way through here. No sign of Robs, but Crony's starting to have a fight with Ghosty Nightwolf. Rixie's already got through. I think Kenty's Rixie's the back of this fight as well. So the guys who finished towards the front of the first race are definitely starting to side through, as Rixie's up to third. You've got Crony fighting for fourth, and you've got Ninja in there in sixth already. So we've only got a couple of laps in the book, and they're already fighting their way through the field. Crony's going to think about a send on Ghosty Nightwolf through this section. Ninja's in there as well, ready to pick up the pieces for if and when it... Oh, Nut sends it down there in the Sierra. That's probably not a move I'd recommend going for, but he went for it anyway. He's not gained anything by the look of it, but he's probably wound up the guys in front of him. They definitely know that Sierra's there. He thinks a little bit better of it, but he's been spat out towards the gravel. And there you go, the Sierra's exiting stage life. A little bit of a bump there from Goat in the Volvo on the back of the Skyline. As it looks like Crony's got a little bit of attack there. Oh, he's been spun off the nose of Ghosty Nightwolf. He's been spun into the barrier. So this race absolutely carnage, but that's all benefited the Volvo. The Volvo's got through with Kenty just behind him. So if these guys can start charging after Rixie, we've absolutely got away at the front of this one, then they've got a good chance of trying to catch down Penfold and Pete in front, who still, remember, hold first and second in this race. Rixie third, and that's Ninja Go in the Volvo up to fourth, and Kenty up to fifth. But Kenty's soon to be fourth as the Volvo runs a little bit wide. Got himself on the curb, and the Alpha's just dragged straight past him. The Volvo's normally the one doing the drag racing, but the Alpha's the one that's gone past. So the Volvo now looks towards the racing line. Kenty has to go defensive. He's got no choice. But the better brakes, the better turning of the Alfa Romeo, gets the nose in, gets the car down, gets the power down, and gets gone. So Rob Racer and Ghosty Nightwolf, these two trying to fight their way through the order. Ghosty Nightwolf after that contact with Crony. A little bit further down the order now. As, Sierra's gone flying through picture there. That could have ended very badly. Behind you got Boar, who did something a little bit similar on the outside, now trying to fight with Cubs. The pair of these guys haven't had brilliant races over the course of the night, as Boar now fires it down the inside of Stumpy Steve, who had a decent race at the start of this one. He's about to get shuffled out by the Volvo, and potentially by the Alfa Romeo as well, as you've got KB Racing in there as well. His AM Championship rival is right at the front of this field, so it's not going to be a good day for him if Pete stays up towards the front of this one. But Boar now, he's got his sights set on Ghosty Nightwolf. The Alfa runs a little bit wide. That invites the Volvo in. So the Volvo now right under the rear wing of the Alfa Romeo as we head down towards the bottom end of the circuit. Will Boar fancy dive at the bottom end of the bottom end? He did have a massive dive in race number 1 at the chicane. I don't think that was on purpose. Now looking at Stumpy's team, who's trying to get himself back up the order after a little bit of a bump at the start. And then you've also got KB Racing, who also ended up getting spat off towards the scenery. So these guys all recovering after a little bit of an interesting start to this race. Lots of contact there, lots of cars getting spat out towards the exit through the Schumacher S's. Looks like Cubs now trying to get himself on terms with the Volvo in front. So you've got Stumpy's getting it all sorts of sideways, as you've got now Boar, he's going side by side with Ghosty Nightwolf. Stumpy thought about making it 3 wide there as the Alfa goes as the Alfa goes a little bit wide. The Volvo goes even wide. The BMW's got 1 place. Will he get a 2nd place round the outside of the Volvo? Coming down the back straight, thinks a little bit better of it, has to back out of it, but KB Racing now potentially going to go for 2 places. Got 1 place on Ghosty Nightwolf already. Cubs has shown past the Alfa Romeo as well. Will KB be able to use the power of the Volvo to get side by side with the Sierra in towards the braking zone? Cubs now is trying to fend off the 2nd Alfa Romeo, which has just sent it down the inside, not quite close enough to make that move stick. As it looks like Bornau's already got past Stumpy Steam in front of him, so that BMW is starting to fall down the order in towards the final corner. Ghosty Nightwolf now trying to get back past Cubs, as Cubs tries desperately to make some progress in that Alfa Romeo. Now you've got the battle towards the front of the field. You've got Kenty has caught Penfold, so Kenty has caught Penfold for 2nd place. So already that Alfa Romeo is charging through the field. You can just about see that little dot in front. That's Pete in the lead. So this is currently the battle over 2nd place. Kenty's already won 1 race. He's leading the Prime Championship and sends it around the outside of Penfold. That's a brave move, but gets the power down. Penfold and the RCIB Insurance car defends the move. And in the side-by-side through the Schumacher S's, who's going to bow out of that one? It's Penfold. And Kenty takes 2nd place off the Alfa Romeo driver, but gets a little bit sideways over the curbs and just about hangs on to the position. That's Kenty up to 2nd. Now it's Ninja's turn to try and have a crack at Penfold to take a podium playing position away. We haven't seen the Volvos on the podium yet, as I believe that's Robster getting into this one as well. So race 1 winner now getting himself up towards the sharp end of the field. As Penfold looks like he's coming into the pit, so maybe he's buzzed the engine, maybe he's ruined that engine, and that's why he's dropped off the pace. That's now promoted the Volvo up towards 3rd position now. And now you got the leaders fighting over first place. Kenty's managed to catch straight up onto the back of Pete. So Pete and Am driver, Kenty leading the Pro-Am Championship by quite a considerable margin. There's a little bit of a pace difference, but you've got to say Pete has been doing quite well in the last couple of races. He's improved his pace quite a bit, and now he's fighting at the front. You can still see the novice cross, but Kenty is going to send it down the inside at this bottom corner. But Pete's wise to the move. He just holds the Alfa Romeo on the outside. That's going to be the outside for the next corner and potentially allow Pete to hold the position. Kenty, though, crosses back to the inside and gets the position done. So that's the experience of Kenty versus the inexperience of Pete there. Heading towards the bottom end of the circuit. Pete, though, is running a decent race. He's currently in second with quite a bit of this race left to go. He's now come under pressure from Ninja in the Volvo, so Ninja's caught straight up onto the back of him. Not sure where Robster's gone. Robster's disappears. We head down the back straight. Pete now running a decent race. He's still in second. With still an opportunity of a good podium here if he can hold it all together and fend off any drivers that come up behind him. Heading through the flat right-hander though. It looks like the Volvo might have the move done, heading in towards the chicane this time. Will Ninja in the Volvo think about ascend? He thinks a little bit better of it. Doesn't go for it just yet. Pete using all of the curb and a little bit more to try and keep that Volvo behind him. He's pulling out a little bit of a gap there, heading through the final corner. And he's just about got the nose turned in. It's a decent line there from Pete, trying to keep that Volvo at bay. And Ninja in the Volvo, he's fallen a little bit further back, but Pete's clipped the gravel, and that's going to allow Ninja to drag straight past him. So KB Racing now fighting with Cubs. Looks like you've got Stumpy and Boar behind. So Boar's been off the track quite a few times. KB Racing fires it down the inside of Cubs, get past the Pro-Am driver. Stumpy's in there. Cubs comes back at them though. Looks like Boar's taking to the gravel yet again. So he should be driving a Honda there. It's more of a lawnmower as KB Racing gets down the inside. The Am driver putting on a decent show here. You've got Stumpy down the inside, but trying to go 3 wide there as KB runs a little bit wide. Stumpy though has got the whole shot into that position, but Cubs is still around the outside. The Alfa Romeo driver can't get the power down quick enough, and the BMW takes the position. Decent driving there from Stumpy to get that position back thanks to the mistake from KB Racing in front, but he's got Cubs bearing down on him. Heading in towards the bottom end of the circuit now. Will the BMW be able to hold off from the Alfa Romeo? The Alfa, a little bit of the nudge to the background, nudges them a little bit wide. Down the inside, Cubs and the Alfa Romeo gets the position back. Now he's got to be careful because Boar's in this one as well. He's got KB Racing behind, and I think that might be Noodles in there as well in the Skyline. So that's a good run so far for the Skyline driver. That's Crony recovering. So that's Crony recovering from his off, having got spun across the nose of the Alfa Romeo Ghost Nightwolf at the start of this one. He's now got past KB Racing. Boar's his next target, so Crony now running well inside the top 10 in his recovery drive. He's got that Volvo in front of him that he's already had one crack at overtaking before. Stumpy now a little bit slow. That's allowed Boar to get right onto the back of him. Crony though is going to try and go around the outside of the Volvo. This Skyline's pretty good under power. The Volvo is pretty good as well. The Volvo just about gets the power down and gets in front. So it's 3 cars now fighting over position. The Volvo now in the middle of the BMW and a Skyline. Front wheel drive Volvo versus rear wheel drive Beamer. The Beamer looks towards the defensive line. The Boar in the Volvo throws it down the inside of the chicane. He had a massive send in race number 1 that looked like a mistake, but that send there has worked out well. And Stumpy's lost out there as well to UKOG Crony, and I think he might have allowed KB Racing through as well. Yes, KB and the Volvo's on the outside. Crony's got through on Boar. Crony takes the position in the final corner. Down the main straight there, it's a drag race. This is where the power of the Volvo comes through. As you can see, Boar's just managed to drag alongside and get past Crony before they even get towards turn number 1. That Volvo does have some decent straight line speed. It's one of the only things going for it. It's pretty useless everywhere else. In towards turn number 1 though, Crony's still on the inside and Stumpy sends it on Boar. KB Racing throws it down the inside of Boar as well, so Boar loses 3 positions in the space of 1 corner. Gets 1 back there on KB Racing, tries to get another back on Stumpy's. Crony now moving up the order. But this is the man who's going to come through to record yet another victory in the Autobrite Direct Touring Car Legends Series. The dominance of the Alfa Romeos in the Pro-Am and Am class continues as Kenty comes across the line to win round number 8 of the Autobrite Direct Touring Car Legends Series. Take a look at the full result. You can see Ninja came home second, so decent podium there for the Volvo. Rob raced the third, Milsey won its fourth, Manix Dog Pete had a decent run to finish 5th, UKOG Crony 6th, DI Ball 7th, Robster 8th, Cubs in 9th, 10th was KB Racing, Stumpy Steam in 11th, and Penfold rounded out the top 12. So after 2 more fantastic races, let's take a look at the championship, and Kenty now holds an almost 100-point lead. He's 99 points clear of Crony in 2nd, with Wobster moving up to 3rd. Ninja moves himself up into 4th place, just a handful of points back off the Alfa Romeo driver, with Retro Rixie dropping down to 5th. In the AM category, KB Racing now holds a 50-point lead over Maddistog Pete's in 2nd. Nuts moves himself up to 3rd, with It's Noodles moving off the bottom into 4th place. That bottom position is now held by Devil's Boogeyman in the Sierra. So the next time that we see the Autobrite Direct Touring Car Legends is when we head to Long Beach in the USA for 2 more fantastic races. If you like what you see, you want to see more, don't forget to like, share and subscribe, and hit the bell notification so you don't miss out on our latest videos. See you at Long Beach.